All right. Middle of some of my training inputs for the day. Okay, more details on the calf jump and spinal hygiene live webinar I'm doing this Wednesday. We already cleared up. I messed up and I said 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. It's 5:30 Pacific Daylight Time. 5:30 in San Diego, whatever time it is for you. Keep the emails coming. As I said, I'm going to be taking registration and everything up until right before the event, because why the hell not? Some concerns that have come up. There are some parts of the population that are attending the class that can't necessarily stand too well or walk too well or get out of chair or bed or whatever. Will the class be covering or be applicable to this population? Absolutely. Not for the reason of going into that, catering to that part of the population, because as I said, it's not specific training for an 86-year-old with MS and osteoporosis who are healing with Dr. Kazi, and then another program for the pro athlete. Those two people should be able to do the same thing with two interpretations, but the input is exactly the same. True training can be done by any population at any time. So would there be a time that a person in their 20s or 30s would be functioning at the level of a 90-year-old who has not moved or gotten out of bed in 30 years? Of course. It's called injury. And when that person's experiencing injury in the earlier stage in their life, their ability to move and function and adapt, they have to go back through stages of the game that they once did before, and they're going to be functioning as, we're all functioning as everybody at all times, depending on the level. But so every single person is going to have to know how to do these when they're crazy symptomatic, because there's a good chance we're going to break some shit, roll some shit, hurt some shit if you're living high. That's part of the deal. I've had 5 injuries this year, not because I'm falling apart, but because I'm living more. And that's expectation. That is not fucking wizardry or some secret protocol. That is the fucking principle, one of the principles of life. And then on a part of the population, let's just say, who has gotten to that point, I fully am looking to not only you to pull yourself out and be able to do these moves well, but to do even more, which is what we get into on the deep dive Zoom one-on-ones, so that you can turn the clock back to your level of function at 86 and be functioning as a 22-year-old. That is the design as well. And that is a full expectation. It's completely in your grasp if you want it, but you have to want it. So will the class be able to be applied? Will I show troubleshooting for all populations? As I said, absolutely. I'm going to show these moves and how you can do them, how I've experimented with doing them on all levels of existence. I've had to, because I've gotten injured a fuck ton, or I've worked with people who have had some things and they had to deal with them. These aren't left out because a person's bedridden, or these aren't left out because a person's in a wheelchair. These aren't left out because a person has a grade 2 blah blah blah. No, these are added to, and we're doing them modified to a way that they can do them to sustain, and then you guys get creative and make them on your own now that you know what the inputs are. That was one important thing. Damn it, I think that's it. No. So it's going to cover all levels of ability, because every human is going to be at various levels of ability as we go through the healing process, because that's all the body does, is heal and adapt. To what level you step into the training stream, because training is training is training. When it's true, there's one building for training. It's training. And actually there's no building, because training doesn't exist in a building. It exists where you're at all times. So I was running a trial run with Cassie today. Update your Zooms to the latest version, whether it's on your computer or your phone. And if you don't have Zoom, you got to download Zoom, obviously, to register. They're gonna ask you. But get the latest version so there's no glitches, no anything. Because as I said, I'm not troubleshooting technology. I suck at it. I'm very upfront. That's what they said in the email. So we're not going to go and figure shit out. You figure it out now, and we roll. Because once it hits 5:30 Pacific Daylight Time, we're rolling. I'm going to be in the room 15 minutes early, just kind of checking people off and seeing some things. But once 5:30 hits, we're off, and we're running, and we're not stopping until I pass out or lose my voice. All right, see you then.